Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's watching this space. Welcome to another one of our webinars on how to use option strategies using one of our latest channels, the APIs, Breeze API. So, as you all might be aware, we have done a lot of these sessions in the past, and we've showed you around how to get started with the APIs. What is an API? What are the benefits of using an API? So, in this particular session, I'll not be covering the basics of what an API is or how you can get started. I'll try to cover that briefly at the end of the video. This session, we will try to focus on these ready-made option strategies that we've brought over. Okay, so a lot of, and this is because a lot of people and customers came to us and said that it's really a bit challenging to get started with the APIs because of the coding background and the technical awareness that one needs to have. So we've tried to make the session as simple as possible and the usage of the APIs also from the perspective of somebody who comes with little knowledge about coding or technicalities. So, yeah, again, very warm welcome to everybody. My name is Salil Shukla, and I hope you enjoy this session. Um, Sorry for messing up the thumbnail. I think somebody's commented that today is not Tuesday, but yeah. So very warm welcome on a Good Friday for the session. As always, if you like the session, please do hit like and try to share it with your friends. Subscribe to ICICI Direct's channel because we very frequently bring out these webinars and training programs, not just about the APIs, but about most of the products on flash trade or option plus and algos, algo trading, etc. So make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. All right, let's get started. I'll be sharing my screen and I hope you guys can see the landing page of ICICI Direct. So as you all might be very familiar with our landing page, right? I'm standing on the FNO section. I'm already logged in, right? So you can see we have these main products, Flash Trade, Breeze API, Spring, which is our latest algo-based platform, easy options, and things like that. So this button of Breeze API would be visible to everybody who lands on the FNO page or on the stocks page also. But I think some people who haven't subscribed to this analytics of Breeze might not be able to see. But nonetheless, to go to Breeze, you can either log in inside your ICICI Direct, click on this button Breeze, and you'll be logged in to Breeze's web page. Therein, you'll have to register yourself, which is a one-time process, and you will be able to generate your API keys. I will, at the end of this session, show you how you do all the API key management, how you create the session, how you generate the keys, but at the end of the video. This part, I will try to walk you through a piece of code that I wrote. So these, what you see on my screen, it's simply, some couple of lines of codes, which if you sort of run this on your Python environment, it will place a strategy for you and monitor automatically how much loss or profit the strategy is making. Okay. So let me first show you how this will work, and then I will explain to you line by line what the code would be doing. Okay. So I have, for confidentiality reasons, hidden my API key, my secret key, and session key. And these are the only three things which are required for the user to input when he wants to run the strategy. Okay. Nothing has to be changed in this line of code. If you want to you know uh, place a straddle long or short, but if you want to, let's say, change the option contract, you want to change the maximum profit or maximum loss level, you can do this. But let me run this first, show you what exactly am I talking about, and then I will explain to you how this strategy is managed. Okay, so I have already plugged in my API keys. Let me run this. So if you see the star mark, basically means that this is the code piece which is getting run. Okay. So once it is completed running, it shows a number. Okay, it is ready to go. Now I will run this piece of code, which is basically buying a long straddle at the strike price of 19,400 Nifty for just one lot and expiry date of 13th of July. I have set my profit level and loss level at plus 100 and minus 100. So let me run this. It's running. All right. It's given me an output that it has successfully placed the order for call. This is the order ID. Successfully placed, and this is the order ID. Starting like Pete, call order got executed at this price, put order got executed at this price, and my net PNL is getting streamed. You see, it's beautifully streaming what my current PNL is. Now let me go to my ICICI's open positions page. I go to FNO, I go to open position, and I can see, okay, I have two orders, 19,400 call option and put option. Sorry. Let me verify whether these are the same orders which went through my code. So if I go to order book, I see this is the latest buy position created. See, this is the order number 919 starting with 2023. If I go to my screen, see 919, this is the order of put, and order for call, this is 918. So this is 9. So I'm not sure that my strategy has placed this thing, and this is monitoring real time. Let me just clear out the output so that I can see it from fresh. Current PNL is hovering around minus 10 rupees. Let me verify that. Put to opening position. Yes, it's around 10, 15 rupees only. So you do not have to do anything apart from execution, which I did of these two cells. Now the strategy will take care of all the squaring off and coming out of your position once these profit or stop loss levels are. So as soon as this PNL net will hit either a level of minus 100 or below, or a level of plus 100 or above, the strategy will come out. If you want to manually, let's say, want to opt out of the strategy, what I will do is I will go to this command, stop, and let me just hit that. Okay, I'm seeing I have pressed and see it is squaring of both the contracts and exiting strategy. Squaring of call successfully placed. If I go to my page, I refresh this, see the position has wiped out and it is generating a final PNL report. I think I have not initialized the final PNL report, but that you can anyways verify from your trade book as well. So see, I executed two orders at 82 and 110. My call option got squared off at 79.45, but my put option made good money, right? 114. So let me clear everything and try to explain to you what the functionality of the strategy is. So before that, a lot of users also ask me, where can I get the sample code? How can I, understand what is happening? So we manage most of our codes on the GitHub repository, which I have kept under ICICIdirect Tech label. So if I go to this iDirect Tech, you can simply find this. If you go to GitHub, okay, you go to GitHub, you go to your dashboard, you type search iDirect Tech, it will bring you to iDirect Tech's main page. And this is where we keep all our sample codes. For this particular session, we are dealing with Python language only. We are not talking about code in Java or C# or JavaScript. So in Python, the library that you should look out for is Breeze Python examples. Okay, this is the sample library. If I click on that, I will be redirected to Python examples repo and go to this webinar tab. And therein we keep most of the sample codes which we show in our webinar. For this particular session, I've created SDK straddle. And if you go inside that, you will see the entire code which I'm showing right now is kept. Obviously, you will have to change the expiry date and the strike price, or let's say you want to do not Nifty but Bank Nifty, you have to change the stock code to probably CNX Bank. So that will help you place these strategies for different contracts and different things. Now, since we are on the code, let me explain to you what this code is actually doing. A bad throat case. So, okay, the first step would be to import the required library. Okay, so this line number two, what it is doing is it is downloading the library, the main library, these strategies, and from this main library, it is importing the strategies class. Okay. Now, this is might be very familiar to Pythonic users, people who use Python for various activities, not just algo trading or anything. This is how you import specific classes from a module. We have already created this Breeze Strategies module under which all these backend codes have been written. If you want to check out this library, you can go to pyp.org and don't worry about the links, guys. We will post all these required links in the chat box and also in the comment section. So don't worry about that. Let me just type Breeze strategies. See, I can see that on 26 June, which is almost a month back, we started creating and building this library. If you open this, it will give you all the steps that you need to install this library. And it is very important to install this library before you start using it. Okay, so this command which you see, pip install, pip basically is the package manager and it is telling you how to install these strategies. So the first step would be to install these, and the second would be then usage, right? So you see the code, a sample code has also been kept in this PyP page also. You can visit that anytime. So this is the usage command. You are importing your strategy class. And the next step after you do all this installation and read strategies usage, the next step would be to create an object of that class. So this might sound a bit technically confusing, but just bear with me for some time for those who are not from this tech background. This is simply how you start using this strategy class. So let me go to my code also and show you where I have created this object. So if you see, this is the place where I've created the object of strategies. And also I have commented out these lines of these strategies pip install because this is already installed. If I try to install it again, okay, or I try to upgrade this. So this command is for upgrading. This is for installing. If I let me try to run this. Okay, let me shift enter and now see it's running. So it gave me that requirement is already satisfied. I already have all these things in my thing. So I don't need to do that. I've commented it out again and that's it. So yeah, the next line is creating an object. It's configure the strategy using your API keys and setting the profit and loss level. So this is where you configure your strategy with loss profit and authorize it with your API keys. Using API keys, it will know that, okay, I have to execute the strategy on this particular demat account. API keys basically give access to your demat account. How you can get your API keys, I will, like I said, cover at the end of the video. But once you have those API keys, so for me, this is the API key set. Okay, 7C2 is my app key, this is secret key, this is session key. You need all the three keys to go live. You plug in those, and then you plug in the max profit and max loss level. And that is how you create your object. So see, I've created my object with my API key variables I have made here. I have given my profit loss level. And then the next step would be to execute the strategy. So this part basically takes the contract details as input from the user. If you want to go long, you will type strategy long. If you want to go short, you will type short. Then stock code is Nifty for Nifty index. If you want Bank Nifty, then you would probably have to type in CNX Bank. Make sure you put in the right stock code, guys, because I've seen a lot of people write either Bank Nifty. Some people write CNS Bank with a K. So these are all wrong. Okay, so you don't have to do that. Only this is the correct one. This is wrong. Okay, right. And the next input is strike price. Obviously, if you're working with Nifty, 19,400 is probably the at the money strike price. I think Nifty is right now. Let me see where Nifty is. I think it is around Nifty is 360. All right, so you can go for Nifty 400, you can go for Nifty 300, Nifty 19,350 or something like that. Then you select how many lots do you want to take. So make sure you don't put this, and this is the number of contracts that you want to buy. So you know that Nifty trades in multiples of 50. One lot is 50 only. So don't try to put quantity as, let's say, 25 or 47. It should be a multiple of 50 only. So in this, you can type in 100, you can type in 150, 200. These are all correct. Okay. Strike price also, make sure you don't put anything which is not validated, like 123. There's no strike price of Nifty yet for 123. Lastly, there is the expiry date. And a lot of people also confuse this with what is this T0600. This people understand that this is basically 13th July 2023. And that is understood, right? So Nifty weekly option expiring on 13th July, then it can be 20th July, it can be 27th July. Don't worry about this portion, why we have written. This is basically T stands for timestamp, and this says at 06 hours 000. So this is we can just ignore this section for a while, but the format of the expiry date has to be in line with the UTC format. This is basically ISO format, and that is a valid input to this object.straddle function. All right. So once you execute this command, it will automatically execute both the legs, the call option and the put option, which I showed you, and start monitoring the PNL for that basket order, so that it does not breach the profit or loss level. Once it breaches, it will exit out automatically. So if you want to manually square off and exit the position, you can always use obj.stop. OBJ is, like I said, the strategy option. So it's not the code which is very difficult to understand. It's not rocket science at all. It's a very simple line of code, which is, I believe, easy to understand. All right. This questions so far, I would be happy to take them right now before I proceed to the next sections, where I will be talking about how you can generate the API keys and some of the other. Right now, I'm using an environment or a software for running Python codes, which is called Jupyter. So if you want to download this environment, which I'm using, you just have to type um, on your Google page Anaconda. So Anaconda is name of the software which basically manages all these sub softwares of like Jupyter, Jupyter Labs, and environments where you can use Python language coding. So this is a free software. You can, one of the world's most popular. You can go to their site and simply click on free download. Once you do that, it will get downloaded onto your system. And if you see on my dock bar, I have Anaconda Navigator, and therein I can start this and start using Jupyter. If you see, this is how an Anaconda Navigator looks like. All right. So having said that, VS Code is obviously used a lot. So I also use VS Code for a lot of coding, but yeah, you're more than welcome to use VS Code, Spider, Jupyter. These are some of the very popular platforms for using Python. All right. Somebody has asked that what is the development environment we should be using to debug and code scripts? So, see, different programmers have different approach to this. VS Code, Visual Studio Code also gives you an option to debug. But if you are more of a data scientist guy, if you're more doing taking a modular approach to programming, I think Jupyter Notebook would be just fine. You can simply execute programs in a separate cell and you can simply run this cell. So that's the thing. Okay, another important question. What is the brokerage for algos trading CMS normal trades? Yes, absolutely. So usage of these APIs is absolutely free. You do not have to pay a dime for getting access to the APIs. I simply have to do a free registration on the Breeze API, which let me show you. So yes, on this page, you can see an option to register an app, right? All the charges for executing orders through API would be priced at your already existing plan. So if it's a Neo plan or it's a M-Saver plan or whatever plan, that would only be charged. No extra fee or brokerage for using the APIs. Now, let me come to this page from landing page itself. I go on to Breeze and I go to this page where to generate the API keys, just have to register yourself. On the registration page, okay, this is important. A lot of guys get stuck here. You have to give in only two things, which is your app name and a redirect URL. If you want to code yourself, just put in these details just as I'm doing. App name can be any string. Let's say um, my personal app. In place of redirect URL, type in this thing 127.0.0.1. Don't bother about why exactly they should be written. This is basically the address of your local host server. And if you want to code yourself, this is what you should put in. And once you click submit, your app keys would be generated. Please make sure you do not put in garbage values here. Let's say abcd.com or things like that. It would still work, but um, try to make use of this URL only. Once I click submit, you can see my app key, my secret key. Two of my three keys have been generated. Okay, I will just copy these and paste these here. Okay, make sure you put these when you're coding in string format. So I'm placing double quotes here. Okay. This is the N8 key which I'm copying from the website. Now, how do you generate the third and most important session key? The app key and secret key will remain permanent for your account. These won't be changing. These are static only. So no need to keep on generating these keys. You just need to register it once in a life. But the session key, which is the tricky and third key, it expires after 24 hours. And that is a requirement from the exchange side. So how do you go about generating the third and most important session key? You go to the view app section and you see this is the key which we have created, my personal app. You will find in this section that this is the API key. This is the secret key. The app status is deactive. You can activate this, but see, I'm getting this. Okay, I have activated this. So see, this is active now. And you have options to regenerate and delete these keys also, but try not to keep on regenerating or deleting the keys because it will mess up your piece of code. Now you see a button here, login. This is how you generate this session key. And once you do that, you will be redirected to the login page of ICICI. Just have to give the username again. Type in your password pin, check out the box, login. Now, let me wait for a 6-digit OTP sent on my account. Once I will enter that, the session key would be generated. Okay, I've received the key. This is 143. See, once I click submit, I land onto this same redirect URL. You see 127.0.0.1. So this is supposed to happen. There is nothing wrong in this journey. A lot of people get confused that the page did not open properly, my Chrome or my browser has got stuck, session key is not generated. Well, this is supposed to happen because the session key is right there at the end of this URL. See, 1488855. Just copy this. And it does not redirect you to a page which opens up as you are very familiar with, because the redirect URL which we specified at the time of registration was your localhost server. So it opens like this. So now I have all the three keys with me and pasted it here. Let me paste it here. So okay, let me paste all these keys here and try to generate a session or run a strategy using my new keys. Okay, this is already there. Okay, so see, I will now run this piece of code where my variables are now stored. The next thing I will just let me first restart this kernel. There might be some previous data stored. Okay, let me run this. Let me play. All right, now let me play run this thing. It is processing. Okay, it has completed. It has imported my strategy class. Let me create the object. It is processing. And now my orders are placed. All right, it is giving me an error that available limit is insufficient to cover the value for code. Oh, okay. This is also important to know that if you do not have sufficient funds, what would happen is that one order might go through, the other order, when it is trying, it has failed. So what would happen in such a case? My call order cancellation would be triggered immediately. Now, why is this so? Suppose you want to buy a straddle, but only one of your leg is gone. But that is not what is desired, because now you have a naked position in call, but there is no put option. So we have made this strategy in a way that in case of things like this happen, your executed order would also be cancelled. And if it is already executed, the position would be squared off. That is to protect you from standing with just one leg in the market. So that is where you see my open positions. Although my order did go through this order ID 2377, this did go through because there is no open position, but I can see in the order book. See, there is one order which has been bought, but it was cancelled immediately. And see, order price was 203. Right now it is trading at 200. I would have lost 3 points on this contract, basically 150 to 200 rupees. So this is how you would be protected. See, this is the same order ID 377. So this is how the protection is also built in these things, that in no case whatsoever you would be trapped with just one leg. All right. Okay. I have explained to you how you can generate your app keys, how you can, concile your positions with your order book on the web page. This is the piece of code. All that remains is to share with you the important links for this piece of code and the link to our Python page or GitHub page. Talking about GitHub page, we have already done a lot of webinars on Breeze. There is a lot of exciting stuff where we showed how you can generate the code for a trailing stop loss. So this code, which you see, this helps you push an order with a trailing stop loss. So a lot of guys would already know that there is no trailing stop loss functionality for all these products over website. But all this is possible using Pythonic code. So that is the real charm of using Breeze API, because with program or code, you can automate a lot of things. You can build in new functionalities. You can create your own strategies. So you can even build your own company or startup by just consuming the broker APIs and offering analytics or other things. So the use case of API is multifold. Once you start exploring, you will slowly realize that it's just not just limited to making algo trading strategies. It can be do much more than that. So having said that, check out the webinar repository where you will find a lot of other codes as well. If you want help on a custom thing, you can always reach out to us at our main official ID, which I will let me just write it. This is Breeze API and ICICI. Okay, please. So yeah, you can go to you can send us all your queries at this particular mail ID, and we do respond very quickly. We have a very active community of developers and product managers who would be more than happy to help you. So in case you want the sample codes, the links, you can always ping to us. If you are facing any issue with how you can get started with the APIs, you can ping this. But do watch out our other videos also on YouTube. You just have to go to, I think, YouTube and type in Breeze API webinars. So just see, this is streaming. Just type in Breeze API webinar YouTube on Google. You will find there's a bunch of things like these. So make sure you watch these. There's a lot of exciting stuff that we've posted out there, and would love to hear back from you guys. All right, that's all from the session today. Let me just go over the chat to see if there are any more questions that people want to ask. So in case you guys have doubts, we can post them right now. I'll be more than happy to answer. So somebody has asked, can we chase profit? So yeah, another way to imagine to chase profit is actually trailing stop loss. Trailing stop loss might seem to you that we are talking more about loss, but it's actually working a way to protect your profits. So if a price goes, let's say you've bought something at 100 rupee and you have reached a level and you've created a stop loss level at 80 rupees. So once this price goes above 150, you do not want your loss to remain at 80 rupees. You want it to stay always 20 points down from the current level. That is what a trailing stop loss does. So if in case your price goes from 100 to 150, the stop loss level would also shift from 80 rupees to 130. And that is the way that you protect your profits. Yeah, more questions, guys. All right. I think this completes it. I would be happy to answer all of your queries. You can post them at recipe@icicisecurity.com. Would be happy to discuss further. All right, guys. Thank you for appreciating and staying with us. See you next time.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from ICICI Direct.